I got to give it to them. The Kohberger defense team and their creativity is really second to none. It's getting better every day, if you will. I mean, and it's getting more ridiculous every single day. The latest term you're probably hearing if you're paying attention to the Kohberger case is phantom match, which almost sounds like a creepy dating service.
I'm into true crime and I need a date. That's what you should start.
Oh, God, we get sued. You'd have all these like serial killers signing up to like go on dates. What phantom will you get today?
Oh, my God. I think you're onto something.
We make it a safe place for predators to date.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the worst oxymoron there possibly could be. A safe place for predators to date.
I love it, though. I think we're really onto something.
Phantom match. Would be like monster match or something like that. It's like, if you've been convicted of a heinous crime, no one will date you. We have a place for you. Monstermatch.com.
A place for Bob.
A place for Bob. Or Rob. Rob with the gimpy eye.
Oh, God.
Anyway, phantom match is the claim that is being thrown out there. We're going to kind of go through this and help you better understand it. Is there any legitimacy to saying that, well, this match to Kohberger's dad and the genetic DNA matching, that could possibly be anything, really? They're trying to poke holes in something. And what I've been saying now for about a week is I believe their goal is to try and make potential jurors think they're smarter than the experts.
Yep. And that's exactly what's happening. It reminds me of a kid who is in the kitchen and he's got like chocolate around his lips. And mom goes, "Who got into the dessert? You know that was for the guests." Mm-hmm. And the kid goes, "I didn't do that. You don't have any proof."
Exactly.
It's like, no. Yeah. Okay.
It's so obvious, but at the same point, people are dumb. and that's the scary part.
You're dealing with just the general population. You don't get to really choose who ends up on a jury. Yes, you have a pool that you choose from, but you don't get to choose who ends up in that pool.
Well,
and it could be anybody who goes, yeah, that makes sense.
You don't. I mean, they do. There's a jury selection process. The attorneys do have ability to strike a juror. What that means is they beat the shit out of them in the court. No, I'm kidding.
But what if they're all dumb?
They strike them out saying we don't want you on the jury pool. Yes. No, they're probably not all going to be, but all you need is the one. You just need the one that's narcissistic enough to think that they are smarter than expert and science opinions and facts. And that one person could get Kohberger off or anybody off if they're going to believe ridiculous claims that are being thrown out there right now. You know, for the side of this case that really wanted that gag order in place, it's really amazing the amount of shit that's coming out of their side. That really seems to be an almost campaign, if you will, about things that don't make a whole lot of sense about phantom matches. I just think phantom claims is really what they're doing because none of them are really holding any ground or would hold any ground. They'd only kind of hold ground to, I guess, maybe a conspiracy theorist that doesn't fully understand what they're looking at. So let's go into it. The world of forensic science has been revolutionary in transforming our justice system, offering unparalleled precision and clarity when it comes to solving crimes. Essential to this revelation is, of course, DNA analysis, often lauded as the gold standard of evidence. However, as with any such tool and the power along with it and its impact, it is open to scrutiny, which it should be. We should be poking holes and asking questions, but there's a certain point where it's like, these questions have been answered, and it is a science. And if it's a science, it doesn't mean it's not open. The latest contention in the field has emerged in the form of phantom matches. But how pervasive are these abnormalities? Are they a genuine case for concern, or could they actually be a strategy to confuse and mislead juries? Before diving into the debate, it's crucial to understand how DNA matches work. DNA samples from crime scenes are compared to samples in the database. A match indicates genetic relationship. The degree of certainty of these matches can often be astronomically high, suggesting that the probability of a random match is virtually impossible. The term phantom matches suggests the presence of DNA matches that are illusionary or erroneous. While no system can claim to be 100% foolproof, it is important to underscore that the instances of such mismatches in forensic databases are exceedingly rare. DNA matches, particularly when conducted by accredited forensic laboratories. Let's keep that in mind. They didn't mail in Kool-Aid coupons and said, hey, I don't want the cups this year. I want you to do some genetic matching for me at the Kool-Aid company. Not how this went down. Although that does take a lot of Kool-Aid points, I will tell you that. Follows stringent protocols to ensure accuracy. That's what they're using here, kids. Commercial databases like Ancestry DNA or 23andMe cater to a different audience, primarily individuals curious about their genetical roots, or their genetic roots. However, even in these contexts, the likelihood of phantom matches is minimal. It's pivotal to understand the science behind these tests. While not forensic in intent, still adheres to rigorous scientific principles. In high-stakes trials like this, defense teams will understandably explore every avenue to vindicate their clients, including the area of phantom matches, which is a term that I looked up, and I can't really find it being used at all until Kohberger's camp used it just the other day.
I think they've got maybe a background in creative writing or something, because some of the things I've seen come out of that camp, they're really creative. I mean, I give them props that, wow, I hadn't heard that one before.
I feel like
that they're just really, really creative about their stances.
Well, here's a guess I may have going on of what's going on. They've input like everything that they know into ChatGPT, and they're asking it for defense strategies. ChatGPT, what should we do? Go and say phantom matches. So it's essentially sowing seeds of doubt in the mind of jurors. After all, in the legal realm, reasonable doubt can be the line between conviction and acquittal. And the job of Ann Taylor is to vigorously defend her client. So whether or not she's trying to get him acquitted, ultimately that would be the big, but I think right now the goal is he doesn't get the death penalty. That, I think, is goal number one at the moment. And if you can sow enough seed of doubt, maybe something could possibly, but it'd be enough to convict him. Well, he'll spend life in jail, but if she can save his life, she's won. And that, I think, is where they're at right now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
These claims, when held up to scrutiny, do they stand on solid ground? Arguably, in many instances, they do not. Dr. Greg Hamkin's example, cited by the defense, where a suspect was erroneously identified but later exonerated, is more an exception to the rule. It's essential to recognize that while errors, yes, they can occur, they are outliers in an otherwise robust system. The defense's responsibility to challenge the prosecution's narrative and invoking the possibility of phantom matches does just that. However, presenting those matches as a widespread flaw in DNA analysis is misleading. It shifts the focus from the overwhelming majority of accurate, reliable results to a minute subset of rare abnormalities. Jurors who may not be familiar with the intricacies of DNA analysis, which would probably be almost every one of them, could be unduly swayed by the specter of these phantom matches. It's crucial, then, for the prosecution and expert witnesses to demystify the science, laying out the rarity of these abnormalities and reinforcing the reliability of the forensic DNA analysis process. I think it's also important to point out here that they have done multiple matches. They didn't just sit there and it's done. It's just the whatever they got out of the garbage that was the match. There's been more matches since Kohberger's been in custody, and he matches. It all adds up. It's not just one match. If you're going to go down this road of saying phantom matches, well, then what are your freaking odds of 2 phantom matches or more?
Right.
Because every time you do the test, it seems to make a match. So that actually, if you're pulling this off again and it's matching, but it shouldn't be matching, you, my friends, are David Copperfield and Houdini's love child.
That's perfect.
So I think it's very interesting. They're going to keep throwing shit like this out there. The important thing to do is to analyze it. I'm all about legitimacy. If they make a legitimate argument that maybe no one has thought of, or they bring something to the table that really should be considered, great. If he is innocent, bring the evidence. Bring something that actually points us in that direction and not just constantly make us think that all you can do is spew bullshit out of your mouth.
You're locked into the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.